Yeah. Way up.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Mano is here.
New Mano.
What a blessing.
Yes,
Mano's
back.
here a couple days, 3 days in a row.
Look at that.
Jasmine from the Jasmine Brand is here.
Happy hump day.
I see you all the time, so but it's still a blessing.
Okay, we're like, sheesh.
It's still a blessing.
Is it a blessing?
It's a blessing.
Check it.
Don't start, guys. It's too
said it's a
early.
blessing.
I know, but Mano was trying to take it in another direction.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Well, Jasmine and I are in Orlando.
Yes.
Right now, and we're getting ready to do this panel with Bishop T.D. Jakes for his Good Soil.
Hallelujah.
It's not that, this is
it a bishop?
No, you got to throw hallelujah.
This is also really about entrepreneurship.
You can't be entrepreneurship and with God.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, hallelujah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hallelujah then.
Yes.
But yes, we're in Orlando for that. Shout out to my girl Koya, who's out here in Orlando too.
I love Koya. Mm-hmm. She's a radio personality.
Yes,
she's also like an influencer, I feel like, too.
Yeah, and she's on the television too. So shout out to my girl Koya. The panel that I'm doing today is about groundbreaking strategic partnerships. Timberland's on there. Maya Hicks from Target is on it. Martin is on there from A-Frame Brands, and I'm moderating.
Okay.
You stay on panels.
A panel.
I do a lot.
You are a
okay?
panelist.
She said it's called working.
Right.
It's called being booked.
I'm booked
And busy.
baby.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, but also a lot of the things that I do fascinate me. Like, I love it. I love talking about things like strategic partnerships, because my brand, my coffee uplifts people. My coffee brand is actually about to be in Target.
Right.
That's a big deal.
And we just did a strategic partnership with Chelsea Piers here in the New York area. Right. And I think there's Chelsea Piers in other locations too. So I know they have them in other cities as well. We got to go there one day. Mano's never had coffee.
And that's a big thing.
That is a big thing.
I've never tasted coffee.
And actually, DeLonghi is going to be building a coffee corner here for us. So you're going to love it when I'm able to make you coffee every morning.
And then she also does little Baileys in it too. It's a nice situation.
I'm making a nice little drink
y'all gotta
situation.
Start me off with just coffee first.
Okay.
Now you can't start me off with coffee.
No, we'd rather ease you back down to that. We'd rather start you
go
off
hard.
Yeah.
It's just like
we'd rather give you something that you're going to be like, this is delicious.
Yeah.
And then
Really?
Bring you
because
back.
coffee by itself is not delicious.
Bitter.
It's an acquired taste.
So how about coffee and just sugar?
The last
And
thing
cream.
we want you to do is add a bunch of sugar and cream. No. Okay. But
Right.
we are
Or
going to
honey.
have a special guest joining us today. Latham Thomas is going to be joining us. You know her as Glow Maven. She's a doula, but she also has a Doula Expo that's going to be happening in New York at Hudson Yards.
Oh,
She
nice.
does doula training. So she wants me to actually take classes. You know what a doula is?
No.
Doulas actually help deliver babies, but they help you through the process.
Yeah.
So even after you give birth, they're still there to help you, but they make things more comfortable. They advocate for you in a
Right.
way
absolutely do.
that you may not know how to do. And for black women are 3 times more likely to die during childbirth
Did you have a doula?
than white women.
I didn't, but I wish I did.
Right.
How was your childbirth?
I had a rough time.
She had preeclampsia.
Yeah, had
but
preeclampsia.
We're going to talk about that with Latham Thomas when she joins us. It is Way Up with Angela Yee. Make sure you call us right now to shine a light on them. 800-292-5150 is the number. We always start the show with some positivity.
I'ma shine.
Turn your lights on, y'all.
Turn your lights on.
Spreading love to those who are doing greatness.
Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them.
It's time to shine a light on them.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. Jasmine from the Jasmine Brand is here. Mano is here with some Wednesday Manovations.
Main ovation.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. And we're actually in Orlando right now for this Bishop T.D. Jakes Good Soil Conference that's happening. I'm doing this whole strategic partnerships panel that I'm moderating. And we want to shine a light on somebody who we both really, I don't know if you know Koya Mano.
No.
But Jasmine and I love her.
Yes.
She is an on-air personality, but she's also on the Cassandra show.
Okay.
And what I love is that there's certain things I think with Koya that she's very passionate about.
Right.
And so one of them that I actually had the opportunity to work with her on was her whole HIV awareness campaign. And now it's become a real event.
Right.
That she's doing. So they actually featured it on television as well in Orlando. The Spend the Night Bag campaign. You know, black women in the U.S. accounted for 54% of the new HIV diagnosis among women in 2019. And so that's something that she feels like is a cause for alarm. alarm. So she's done this whole campaign. But other than that, Koya is also just an amazing person.
Right. She's a good friend, too.
During the pandemic, I was going to Orlando just to visit her and hang out with her. And I've never been to Disney World, and she is definitely trying to get me to go. So
You never been?
never been.
Disneyland or Disney World? No,
I've been to
neither?
Disneyland.
Okay.
Actually, but not Disney World.
Okay.
All right. So
And Koya's Instagram is Koya with 4 A's.
it's KOIYAAA. So make sure y'all follow my girl Koya. All right. And we want to hear who you guys want to shine a light on. 800-292-5150 is a number. Hello. Zay, who you want to shine a light on?
Hey, I want to shine the light on myself for just graduating college.
Oh, what college?
SAU.
Okay. And what you going to do now? Like, what did you go to school for?
I was in school for biological science, but I'm thinking about coming to New York to be project management and construction.
Oh, good. We
Okay.
got a lot of work for you here in New York. with
Right.
that.
Yeah, can I just say one thing? New Mano!
Numano.
He's hired.
Shout out to Jasmine Brand and E, bro. Shout out to the coffee business, bro. I would love to become a franchise owner.
Okay.
In your coffee shop when you do it.
All right.
I
I love
love
it.
all your videos, the acorn, all that. Man.
Oh,
All
he's
the funny
he's
stuff
following
do,
you.
I'm invested.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
learning about that lip service too. I'm learning.
Thank you so much. Why you laugh so hard at lip
Hey, I
service?
love y'all though. Congratulations on everything, man. I see you becoming an EGOT. I love y'all.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Love,
Well,
brother.
thank you, Zay.
Like I'm a huge fan, though. Like y'all really help me
Oh, we love
hard
him.
out here.
Numano.
Numano.
Out the hood, man. New Mano.
And listen, to congratulate you, Zay, we got some Born in Aroma by Valentino cologne for you. So hold on the line, okay?
Yes, Miss You. Yes, Miss You.
We got a present for him. Yes. Hold on.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Look. Mano, he's very polite.
Nah, that was a good guy right there.
Numano.
Look at
Yeah.
Mano.
Word, I like that. That guy's a legend.
Numano. He's a legend.
Give legend stat.
The
Yeah,
legend,
give
Zay.
Zay is a legend.
All right, well, that was Shine a Light on Him, and that was brought to you by Born in Roma by Valentino, available at Macy's. And we have a Yee Tea when we come back. Let's discuss Brent Fires and a new partnership that he has. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
They say it's truth in the rumors.
From industry shade to all the gossip,
Talk to me.
Angela's spilling that yee tea.
Talk to him.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and I'm Angela Yee, and the JasmineBrand.com owner is here.
And you work for the Jasmine Brand as well.
And I work for the Jasmine
Not
Brand.
just any brand.
Her own brand.
Own brand.
And Mano is here, and you know
Mano.
Mano loves to chat it up.
Y'all better stop for that petition. For that petition starts in front of the building.
All right, well, let's get into some Yee Tea. Brent Fires has struck a partnership with Steve Stout's United Masters. It's a recording partnership and a creative agency. Steve Stout says that Brent Fires is one of the most prolific independent artists today, and we are extremely excited to embark on this new partnership with him. It's been inspiring to watch his journey as an artist over the years, and with this partnership, we look to further amplify his creative vision and support his entrepreneurial ambitions. He also has a tour that's starting on July 16th.
Okay, cool.
All right, and he put out the new video for his song Rolling Stone from his Wasteland album. By the way, I love that album.
Yeah, it's nice.
Man, are you up on Brent Fires
Of
like
course,
that? Yes.
stop it.
Of course you are.
Of course, I like Brent.
Yeah, and he's a cool person too.
We
I
went
like
to, we
his- I
hung
like
out
his
with him,
music.
right?
Mhm,
Brunch or
yeah,
something?
we were at Black Swan
Yep, in Baltimore.
in Baltimore. He's where he's from.
Yep.
You know, but shout out to Brent Fires, super talented. And that's great to hear about their partnership. All right, now, speaking of touring, Live Nation, the CEO, has explained concert ticket prices and the fees. He wants to implement all-in pricing. You know all them fees. You be thinking the ticket is cheap.
Right.
And you're like, oh, this is a good price. And then you see what all the fees are. Sometimes those fees could end up being more than a damn ticket.
Right.
All right. Well, he addressed that venues choose which ticketing company they want to use for the event based on which of them is able to meet their terms and conditions the best. And the venue sets the ticket fees themselves, and then they determine what percentage of the fees they're going to keep and how much they're going to give to the ticketing vendor in return. So the ticket company cannot try and negotiate the ticket fees. It's often a designated percentage of the actual ticket cost. So the more expensive the ticket, the higher the fee is
Right,
going
all
to
those
That makes
fees.
sense,
You're
yeah.
paying for parking and popcorn at the same time.
be. Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
it's ridiculous. So when you see Ticketmaster service fees, he said that Ticketmaster isn't actually getting most of that money. So just letting you guys know. But he also said that he does not, and Michael Rapinoe is the CEO of Live Nation. He also said that he doesn't think the costs and fees are justified at every price point. He said it's unreasonable for people to expect to see an artist in an arena for $20. So don't think that that's going to happen.
That would be nice, though.
Yeah, they should do that.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Wow.
But people got to make money too.
Of course.
You got to pay them union fees and all of that.
Yeah.
$20.
Mano's disgusted at my suggestion of that.
All right, and Deontay Wilder was arrested in L.A. He was booked on a gun charge. According to reports, the cops smelled an odor of burnt marijuana coming from his car, so they searched his car, and they stopped him because his Rolls Royce's windows were illegally tinted, they said, and his license plate was obstructed.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, they was messing with him. That's when they tell you that they
tint.
pulling you over for the tents. Yeah, that's a way of pulling you over. That's their
Right.
reason. And then they always say they smell weed.
Well, they did find weed, and they found a 9mm in the vehicle.
Weed is legal.
It is.
Maybe not in your car? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
think you're
weed.
still not
Yeah,
supposed
it's
to
legal.
smoke though while you're
Got
driving
it.
because that's still under the influence.
Got it.
So you're not supposed to do that. All right. They said he was very cooperative and nice throughout the whole ordeal, but he was booked on a charge of possession of a concealed weapon, and he bonded out right away after that. So he does have some fight negotiations going on right now.
He's innocent.
I can't imagine that. I doubt that this is going to affect any of that.
He's innocent, man.
That is your Yee Tea. And when we come back, we have About last night. You know, Jasmine and I flew out to Orlando, and we're going to talk about our hotel because it is mixy. It's way up with Angela Yee.
So, about last night.
Last night.
Here's how it went down.
All right, it's way up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and that is Jasmine from the Jasmine Brand.
Good morning.
And Mano is here.
New Mano.
New Mano, and it's time for About last night. So I told you guys, Jasmine and I are in Orlando right now. And we actually, we have to check out of the hotel today, but we're at the Grand Bohemian.
Which we love.
Yeah, so shout out to everybody here at the Grand. I actually stayed here before because of Koya, who we shouted out earlier. But this hotel is more in the mix too. Like you're definitely going to see some people you know. If you go downstairs to the restaurant, which is really good, you're going to run into some people. It's
Yeah.
not quiet.
It's a scene a little bit, right?
Yeah, and sometimes when I come to Orlando, I stay kind of out the mix, out the way, like in the quiet area. I do the same thing when I'm in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Right, but this time we kind of felt like being in the middle of everything. So, Mano, let's start
You
with
wanted
you.
to be in the mix.
Yeah.
I don't like to be in the mix. I am the mix.
Yeah, I didn't even ask the question yet.
I know you
Yeah.
felt strongly about this, Mano.
Yeah,
So you don't like to stay where everybody stays?
No, I like to have that as an option. If I want to pull up, you know, and go by the pool and see what's going on, and you know, but then when I go back to the hotel, I want to be private.
I think you don't want people to see who you're with, probably,
Yeah.
right?
They'd be like,
Possibly.
I seen Mano walking up to the room with such and such.
Yeah, I can
I don't
understand
want
that.
who wants everybody in their business though.
I'm not
I
doing
want to
anything.
be
So
able to sip mimosas by the pool in peace.
in peace.
Yeah.
With your legs out, right? Yeah. Do your swimming trunks go below your knee or above?
Above, a little bit above.
Above.
Okay.
We're not outside with those old
I'm just checking.
work release. Just came home.
You be having your thighs out?
You know.
They got work release swimming trunks?
Yeah, they got the, he like he just came home. Like he ain't been in circulation for a minute. They don't even make shorts that go past the knees no more.
No?
Are they like surfing
No.
shorts or some bullshit?
They don't make shorts that go past the knees no more.
So, okay, so for instance, if you're in Atlanta, you want to be away from everybody, not in the mix.
No, I don't like to be in the mix. I don't like to stay in the mix. I like to have the mix as the option.
Okay,
I wanna
because
pop up
there's
and go
certain
hang out.
hotels. What about the hotels that are like, say it's in Atlanta, the Four Seasons or the St. Regis or
Right.
the Waldorf? It's a little mixy because that's where people tend to
It
stay, but
depends
they
at
are
times
nice.
though. It's
Those
at times.
are always mixy. I feel like the ones she just listed in Atlanta. I feel like it's always.
But they're so
someone there.
nice. You know,
Yeah.
are you gonna where are you gonna stay
I
then?
mean, listen.
If you're
The
not,
Intercontinental.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, it is.
It's
They
Continental
gonna be
is
playing
legendary,
dice at the
even
end.
worse.
right? Yeah,
You could walk to Ruth Chris right there.
Right.
yeah, you can
Embassy
actually.
Suites is right there.
But I also feel like sometimes, like right now at the Grand Bohemian, I like their restaurant. I like their drinks. I like the fact that it's close to where we have to go. And then I think a lot of people from the conference are staying there. And sometimes that's fun. Like,
It's also convenient.
yeah. Convenience,
Yeah,
I feel like.
the mix is convenient. All right.
I remember when it used to be BET Awards in Atlanta and we would stay at the W. Everybody,
my
remember
God.
everybody used to stay at the W?
W.
It used to be
Mix C.
absolutely crazy.
Wow, that downstairs was crazy.
All right, so Mano's out the mix. Jasmine, what's your preference?
I prefer to be in the mix because I want to be somewhere that's not hard to get to, not hard to get to.
So you want everybody to see you.
No, it's not about people seeing me. It's about being convenient. Like I don't want to have to drive far, get picked up far, you know. But I'm not gonna sit down in the lobby with whoever I'm with and just.
Right, but every time I come to the hotel room to see you, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Mano came to see Jasmine."
Well, don't be trying to hide me, Mano, and we'll be fine. Okay, all right.
Don't you be ashamed now.
Don't you be ashamed of me, okay, Mano? Okay.
If you're not doing nothing wrong, it shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
You're so used to sneaking around, Mano.
That's like second nature. But no, I think people like to be away because they don't want people seeing them, which I understand.
Or you just want it to be quiet.
Yeah, I like
sometimes,
quiet.
sometimes there are times that I'm like, I just want it to be quiet. I want to go to the pool and not have to like.
That's what he's saying. That's what Mano's saying.
And
I
I have
wanna
to
come
chat it
out
up. Sometimes you
it's
want.
a party in the lobby.
It just depends on how
Yeah,
you're
I don't
feeling
like
and
party
where
lobby.
you are.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in the Bahamas, you know if you stay at a certain hotel, if you stay at the SLS Bahamar, you know you're gonna see everybody.
Like the
You know there's a
Mondrian.
party at the pool. Yeah, the Mondrian in Miami.
Oh, boy.
You
Yeah.
already know what it's gonna be. So I think you just have to, if you're staying at the Fontainebleau in Miami, you know it's gonna be a scene.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and then maybe you're like, I actually want to stay a little further. Maybe I'll go to Brickell.
Go to Brickell, where it's quiet.
You
All
see
right.
a few people at Brickell too.
You'll be seeing me. All right. Well, that was about last night. It looks like Mano's the only one that is on his secret squirrel.
Yeah.
And when we come back, oh man, tell us a secret.
Please.
You want to go in another room and call us up?
Please.
Mano, this is Mano's favorite segment. This is where you guys call in. We don't judge you. It's all anonymous, and you tell us a secret. 800-292-5150. Please, baby, baby, please.
Please.
Judgment free zone. Tell us a secret.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. Jasmine is here.
Yes.
From the Jasmine Brand. And Mano is here.
Main ovation.
Manovation Wednesdays. I put
Yeah.
it whatever day it is behind that.
It can be anything, man. Ovation Friday.
And it's time for Tell Us a Secret. Calm down.
I mean, listen, you know what I like.
Mano's here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Mano
baby.
likes to judge, is what he likes.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
And if you do something really, really foul, he likes to call you a legend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Foul for him foul for us and great for him.
But regardless, it's all anonymous.
Yes.
Regardless, Jasmine and I will not judge you.
At all.
Now, I have no control over Mano.
I mean, listen, I'm going to keep it real. They call him because they want us to keep it real with them, right?
But not
No,
for
that's
this.
not.
This is not Ask Yee.
No.
This is a no judgment zone.
No, they want advice.
Okay, he doesn't listen, ladies and gentlemen, but I will try to make sure that he calms it down. 800-292-5150 is the number. Tell us a secret. What's up, Anonymous Carla? You want to tell us a secret?
Yes, I sure do, Angela Yee.
All right, I'm listening.
You know, before me and my wife got married, you know, I couldn't afford lingerie at the time. So I knew she loved lingerie. So what I used to do was go to the mall just on like random days. And I would follow, you know, the women around and just see what size they were picking out for their lingerie. And after they finish checking out or whatever, I kind of keep a safe distance. And when I see them going to their car, I just snatch their bag and run and get on the city bus and go home.
Hold up.
Wait a
Who bag you
minute.
snatched?
The women buying lingerie
Really?
for his wife. His wife loved lingerie, but he didn't have the money
He
for it.
studied the size, though.
He said, my wife looked like that size, so let me follow her and then let
Right.
me steal her.
But
her
you
bag.
know,
Yeah, that's what I did.
Sometimes you got to do bad things for good reason.
Right.
I dig it, brother.
So you never got arrested or anything?
No, never. I never got caught, and I done it at least 20 or 30 times.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of times.
Jeez. Did your wife like the stuff that you were
Yes.
getting her?
How did you get away? Did you just hop in the car or you just ran? What did you do?
I timed it right with the city bus.
With the
It was
city?
perfect
City
time.
bus.
You
And
took
they
the
would
bus?
chase you, though, right? Give me back my
I
lingerie.
got chased twice.
Give me back my Vickies.
Wow.
That
Okay,
is
well
so
that's
creative.
dedication.
Really? That is dedication.
All right. Yeah. I did it for the name of love. Yeah.
Are y'all still?
When did you stop?
He said he did.
Oh, when I was able to afford it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, glad you got to that
Well,
point.
yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't come back to you.
Right.
Hopefully you
No,
got
no.
checking out somebody
Actually,
to
it
snatch your
did.
bag.
It had. So what happened? So God, he karma came back. So what ended up happening was I purchased the Honda Accord. It was like a piece of trash Honda Accord. So I had a brand new CD player in it. And so what ended up happening was I used to always leave the door open, and I came out there one day from work, and my CD player was gone.
Ooh.
God got you
That's
back.
for all that lingerie you stole.
You right?
All right, well, thank you for sharing.
No problem. Bye.
Yo, I ain't never heard of that.
Took a turn I didn't expect. What's up, Anonymous Caller? How are you?
I'm good.
You want to tell us a secret?
I do. So this is like a deep dark secret. I had an old business partner and a close friend. He was married to this really pretty young lady, and I always respected like my homeboys' girls. So I would never like talk they together. I'm talking to him. I don't even pay too much attention to the girl.
Right.
Right.
As you should.
But
Right.
for some reason, but for some reason though, man, like this girl always would come around. Like I would throw like wine tasting events and different events. And she just was like, you could tell she did not like me. She couldn't stand me for whatever reason. So I never addressed it. But then about a year later, he ended up going to jail.
And
And
I know where this is going.
Right, exactly.
She went to my Facebook page and started following me on social media. And she was like, wait a minute. This don't look like the dude that, my husband was talking about. Like and she found out that I was involved in, doing a lot of philanthropy work and, community and all of those type stuff, right?
Okay.
So she inboxed me. And she was like, hey, would you call me? Such and such, is in jail for some process, some checks and some stuff. She said, would you give me a call? So I called her up. She said, first of all, I want to apologize to you. Yeah, she was like, can we link up? I was like, yeah. So we linked up, went to lunch. And then, she was like, man, I want to smash you.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's make that happen. So after we smashed, and she seen that y'all man was, decent. She was like, you know what? I want to be with you. So she divorced him, and now we still kicking it.
Is he still in jail?
He said they still kicking it.
Nah, he out now, but I think he know for real. Like I ain't saying nothing on to protect her. But I seen him. He tried to shake my hand, and I told him like, bro, I don't mess with you.
You did bad though, bro, because you don't know if whatever she was saying was the truth. You did bad.
Mano.
You never supposed to hit your man.
No judgment.
No,
I
I'm
mean, I
judging.
thought you would understand more than anybody.
You don't hit your friend girl, bro.
Well, he's in love now.
Mano, it's no
Nah, you
judgment.
don't hit your friend's girl. That's your friend. You don't.
Obviously, it wasn't his friend if he was talking crazy about him.
Well, we don't know if that's the truth. We don't know. You don't know if that's true.
You like want me to stand up godly dude? Because I know for real, dude, if your homeboy was hating on you in a situation with...
I never hit his girl. Never.
Okay.
Mano,
it's no
Never.
judgment.
No
He was just
judgment.
telling us his
Who
secret.
said there's no judgment?
Hey,
Tell us a secret.
Oh, that's the rules.
Yes,
No,
you
you
know
better
that's the
not.
I
rule.
didn't know that. That's the rules.
But thank you for sharing. He is going to know soon enough anyway, and I guess you're in love now, right?
I like her. I mean,
He ain't in love.
now that you chastise him, he not in love now.
He feels bad.
I'm just saying, I'm giving my opinion.
Okay.
Like keeping it P, right? You
Okay.
There's a line that you draw. This is your friend. You don't know if
He didn't
that's
mess
not-
with him.
no,
Said
hold
it's
on.
nice,
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. He was up there. So when he went to jail on some check stuff, he actually was trying to bring me in on it. So this is what she told me. He telling the police, such and such was involved, whatever. All type of just trying to, get his stuff brought down.
She's
so
chatty.
no, we
Now you just yapping.
Chat.
We ain't cool.
You see, look, Mato hate that she told too.
Nah, but what I'm saying is, here's the thing though. You don't know. You got to check the information. You got to check the person that's bringing the information.
He did check
He said
it.
he did, Mano.
He checked it. He believes her.
He believes it.
He believes
I
her.
bet he do.
Yeah, he believes her.
Well, thank you for
Especially
sharing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean.
All right, well, thank you for sharing.
All right.
You
I
made
didn't
him
know
feel
the
bad.
rules. I'm sorry.
Mano,
the
you
rules,
know
Mano.
the
I
rules.
don't know the rules.
It's like something takes over Mano's body. He can't help it. He got to say
because
something.
dudes be calling up here acting like they keeping it like that ain't cool.
And they be wanting you to co-sign too.
Yeah, you looking for a coach. I thought you would understand. I'm not never hitting none of my homeboys' girlfriend.
That's not his homeboy. He was talking crazy about him
girls
behind
be
his
lying.
back. All right, well, that was Tell Us a Secret. You guys are the best. I just want to say.
Yeah, they are.
You okay, Mano?
I mean, I'm
He needs
good.
more. He needs
I'm
more.
Good. I mean,
Feed him.
Yeah, keep calling.
All right, yeah, keep calling.
Yeah.
800-292.
I'll give you my number.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
There we
would
go.
judge you all day.
Yes.
800-292-5150. You can always leave a message. Remember, that'll be playing back at the end of the show for Last Word. And when we come back, we have Yeezy. Let's talk about Youngboy NBA. He has broken yet another record. We'll tell you what it is on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yo, she about to blow the lid up off this pot.
Let's get it.
Oh, yeah. Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
Come and get the tea.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and I'm here, and Jasmine from the Jasmine Brand is here, and Mano is here.
New Mano.
What's up, Mano?
Yeah.
And let's start it off with NBA Youngboy. He is the youngest artist in history to have over 100 career entries on the Billboard Hot 100 chart.
Wow, that's dope.
He's only
Unstoppable.
23 years old, by the way. Let's keep that in perspective. So congratulations to him. Some of the previous artists who reached the milestone include Lil Baby, Drake, Justin Bieber, Chris Brown, Future, and Taylor Swift. So congratulations to him. He also reportedly welcomed his 11th child recently, too.
11 children at 23.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's a lot. You know what's interesting about him is the fact that he hardly does any press.
Yeah.
And his fan base rides with him. He don't really have to drop a bunch of, promo.
Power of the internet.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting also is that he drops music constantly, and it always does well.
Right.
Yeah.
He even had an album release party that he was supposed to show up to via Zoom and missed it.
Zoom?
Yeah, he was supposed to zoom into
How
it.
you missed the Zoom?
Wow.
That's funny.
All right, Antonio Brown has been accused of threatening an Arena League coach and also not paying players. As a football team owner, the National Arena League's Albany Empire, the head coach and the quarterback both detailed their experiences before leaving the team. Now, according to Damon Ware, he said that Antonio Brown's ownership was doomed from the beginning. It was a hostile takeover. When he came on board in March, they forced other owners out by throwing money their way. The main issue, he said, was getting everybody paid, and his conversations with Antonio Brown about the matter got so bad that he would text him violent threats.
Oh, no.
You can't do that. They said Antonio Brown, who owns 95% of the team, was a nightmare to work with, and his ego got in the way of improving the squad and helping players move on to the next level. He said it became all about him.
Put that ish on.
Yes, so hopefully they get it together, right? I'm sure Antonio Brown is going to respond to this at some point, too.
Yikes.
As he does. And Ed Sheeran has warned that he is going to quit music if he's found guilty in this copyright trial. He said he'll leave the music industry. That's all a plagiarism trial related to his song Thinking Out Loud. They're suing him, saying that Marvin Gaye's song Let's Get It On, they're saying he copied that song, right? So we've been talking about that. He actually played the guitar and did all of that while he was on the stand. But he's saying that the heartfelt song that he did was written without copying Marvin Gaye and features elements that are commonly used in pop music. So this trial has been going on, if you guys have been
For a
following
while.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he also, by the way, I guess is going to be living in New York.
Okay.
He just inked a lease for a $36,000 a month apartment.
That's
Isn't it crazy
interesting.
that we know all of this, but it's near the Brooklyn Bridge in
It's
Brooklyn
interesting.
Heights.
36,000 a month.
Yep, $36,000 a
That has
month.
an amazing view.
That's an amazing amount of money.
yeah.
But it's in Brooklyn, so I guess we'll be seeing Ed Sheeran.
It's interesting
in
because
Dumbo House.
I feel like he lays low. So for him to be coming to New York is different.
I think the neighborhood that he's in,
you could be low over
you
there.
can lay low in.
It's
Okay.
pretty trendy.
No, I
Yeah.
just think in
Nobody
general we
tripping.
don't really see him out. Period.
But it's Brooklyn Heights. Like that
Brooklyn.
particular neighborhood is not like being in the mix.
Right,
Okay.
nobody tripping. Nobody. Hey, there's Ed.
Okay.
It's all
Hey,
good.
Ed's here.
At home.
All right, well, that is your Yeetie. And when we come back, we have Under the Radar, okay? If you're a newbie, Under the Radar are stories that are not necessarily on the front page of the news. Every time you turn on the TV, you're not seeing it, but these are stories that we feel are important for you guys to know. It's nice water cooler talk sometimes, too. Okay? It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
I got news. This in the news that relates to you. These stories are flying under the radar.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and it's Mainovation Wednesdays.
Yes, it is.
Mano is here. Jasmine from the Jasmine Brand is here.
I am here, Angela.
And it's time for these under the radar stories. These are stories that are not necessarily in the headlines, but they deserve to be. And we've been talking about these bank collapses, right? Now, First Republic Bank has collapsed. It's the third major U.S. bank to collapse in recent months. And right now, JP Morgan Chase will assume all of its assets. The FDIC said the deal avoids the agency having to use its emergency powers. It would also minimize disruptions for customers. If you guys recall, Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank also collapsed earlier. So now this is the third one. So JP Morgan Chase Bank submitted a bid for all of First Republic Bank's deposits as part of the transaction. The 84 offices in 8 states for First Republic Bank will reopen as branches of JP Morgan Chase Bank. All right, so if your money's there, I guess for now you're okay.
Okay, this is the third one. That's a
Hey,
big
listen,
deal.
it's happening, and it's going to continue to happen.
I was trying to understand what it was that happened with First Republic Bank. Apparently, they were giving loans to like really rich people, but they were making them pay, I think, only interest at first.
Oh.
And then with the rates rising and less people.
I mean, only principal first.
No, I think it might have been only interest first. And then that means that you still have all that principal to pay.
Right.
You know, so I was just trying to figure out, because every time I read about something, I try to do a deep dive. And so they were saying that's part of what the problem was. All right? Okay. So, yeah, we should all do a deeper dive into it.
That word, where's that word come from?
A deep dive?
Deep dive.
And then she uses
What
it
is
all the
that?
time, too.
Listen.
I've never heard that
No, you haven't?
until I started coming here.
But you've heard it other places.
Never. Only here.
All right. Well, that was your deep dive. All right. Now, here's another deep dive. Jeffrey Hinton. He was an artificial intelligence pioneer. In 2012, he and 2 of his graduate students at the University of Toronto created technology that became the intellectual foundation for the AI systems that they say tech industry's biggest companies believe is a key to their future. But now he's also one of the people that is criticizing artificial intelligence.
Really?
Yes, he says those companies are racing toward danger with this aggressive campaign to create products based on generative artificial intelligence. And so things like ChatGPT, the popular chatbot, you see a lot of people getting scammed.
Yeah.
Right now
Bro,
with these chatbots. Now, Dr. Hinton said he quit his job at Google, where he worked for more than a decade and became one of the most respected voices in the field, so that he can freely speak out about the risk of AI. And he said a part of him regrets his life work.
That's major. You regret
That
your
is
life's
crazy.
work, and you're concerned.
But
and
he does say, he tells himself, if I hadn't done it, somebody else would have. That's how he
sure.
actually consoles himself. That's what you say is an excuse when you know you done did something messed up. You're like,
Right.
well, if it wasn't me, somebody else would have did it. But he does feel like how do you prevent bad actors from using it for bad things? And that's the problem, is that there could be a risk to humanity. So how do you even regulate that, right?
it really is about to be the Wild Wild West.
It is.
And then it's also about the job market, right? How much is AI going to affect the job market, that type of technology? They're saying chatbots like ChatGPT tend to complement human workers, but they could replace paralegals, personal assistants, translators, and others who handle those type of tasks. So he's upset and worried that it could take away from some of that. And then also with the false photos, the false videos and texts, all of that the average person will not be able to know what's true anymore.
Right. Now, who's controlling all this? Like, who's going to
Nobody,
regulate?
that's the problem.
This is crazy.
Listen, one of my friends got fooled. He thought Fat Joe was asking him for money. He sent me the video of Fat Joe.
Oh, it was a video?
Sitting there talking to him personally. I'm like, yes.
Hold on, they could do a video too?
Yes, they can. Okay, so we got to be
that's
careful.
wild.
All right, well, that is your under the radar stories, okay? And when we come back, we have the Way Up mix at the top of the hour, so get ready to dance. Also, we already told you, there you go, Jasmine. She's always doing this body roll to everything. Latham Thomas is going to be joining us. She is a doula, but she also has, you can follow her as Glow Maven. All right, but she also has her Doula Expo happening. You can go to doulaexpo.com and you can check it out May 20th to the 21st in New York City. And doulas are so important when we talk about Black maternal health care, maternal health care in general. So we'll discuss all of that. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Way up.
Just like to talk like they Angela Yee, like they Angela Yee.
Man, she's spilling it all. This is Yee T. Way up.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and my girl Jasmine from the JasmineBrand.com is here.
Yes.
And, I work for the Jasmine Brand, so I'm giving you stories right now.
Thank you.
Mano is here.
New Mano.
New Mano. And
Yeah.
Mano, Real Housewives of New York. Did you ever used to watch that?
Never.
Because it's New York.
No, I never watched it though.
All right, well then maybe you won't care, but they have announced that the season 14 premiere date is happening. Well, the new season is going to be starting July 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern, and there's a teaser that was just released. The cast was unveiled at BravoCon 2022. I don't think I know any of these women.
I don't think I'm familiar either. But when you think about it, that's typically how Housewives is. You don't know who these women are until
because they were in the house. Got it.
Wifing.
Right. Wives were wifing.
Yep.
So I guess get ready for that.
So I don't know anybody. You don't think?
Some of these names are hard to pronounce. Angela, the cast.
Okay,
let's say
they got Ebony K. Williams.
No, that's who's being replaced. So the cast
off?
is going to replace Ramona Singer, Luann, Sonia Morgan, Angela's
Yeah, they're not
girl,
on there anymore.
Yeah, and Ebony.
So now it's Sai De Silva, Uba Hassan, Erin Dana Litchi, Jenna Lyons, Giselle Tank, and Bryn Whitfield.
Yes.
So those are the new people on
I didn't even know they
on
had
the
a
cast.
New York City version of that.
Of Housewives?
Yeah.
You didn't know there was Real Housewives of New York?
No, of New York City.
Well, yeah, just of New York.
Yeah, it's just New York.
Yeah, Real
just
Housewives
New
of New
York?
York.
Yeah.
Not New York
So
City.
it's just
but
upstate New York. It's just any part of New York.
It's just New York. I don't think
No,
anyone
it's-
lives upstate.
yeah,
that's
I
on the
think it's
show.
all Manhattan. The problem people always had with the New York franchise was it's like, do these women represent New York? Not the
Right.
New York I know.
Right.
Not New York City.
And it was cool because Ebony was from Harlem and she was on the show with them, and they were mostly from Manhattan, you're saying, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
and they would
yeah.
be like, going and doing things like going to the Hamptons and
Right.
stuff like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
They actually had spoken to me about being on it
Oh, you was on. Oh,
when they were
Real
trying to
Housewives.
diversify.
That would have been really good. It's not too late, Angela.
Yeah. Sign
I'm
up.
not a housewife.
Neither are
All
some
right,
of them.
and Coachella, the owner of Coachella, which is AEG, they're threatening legal action. There's a filmmaker who created a concert movie. That person got footage of Frank Ocean performing just from online. So he put together about 150 videos that was uploaded by concert goers on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter, and made an unofficial multi-cut film that accounts for the entirety of Frank Ocean's set.
Really?
That is very, by the way,
You
creative.
had a lot of time.
Yes, Brian Kinnis is his name. All right, and the whole thing was 1 hour and 20 minutes. And so he got a cease and desist as soon as he put it online.
Yeah.
They told him he has to remove and destroy all audio and video content of musical performances from the festival. If it's a really good video, they should have teamed up with him on it.
But it's not their footage though.
He said, I'm just
It is
combining.
Coachella.
He said, I'm just combining what's already publicly available.
Right.
So it was already out there.
But is it from people's phones?
Yeah, and from TikTok. And it's little snippets. I think 1 hour and 20 minutes is a full length, video
Yeah,
of the
feature.
whole set.
It's a feature
I
film.
think you can get away with posting like little bits and pieces. And I don't know how he was.
to post the whole thing. 'cause
But
they
he's
gotta make money
saying
off
he's
it.
saying it's already out there. I'm just putting together something
He
that
pieced it together.
he
though.
did. Yeah, he made it a whole.
He said,
thing.
and this was not smart, he told Variety, I'm not concerned with any legal repercussions because I do not plan on making a single penny from it. He said, I will continue to upload it in places that Frank Ocean's legal team will not be able to find. I don't know if I should tell that to a reporter, but it deserves to exist online. Probably not the best thing to tell to a reporter.
Right,
I
that's
just
funny.
want to put that out there.
All right.
All right, and Black Barbie, there's a documentary about Black Barbie, the black doll, that was released in 1980. That was 31 years after the first Barbie actually became the iconic doll that it is in American history. You ever had a Barbie doll, Jasmine?
I have.
Yeah. Did you have a black one or a white one?
I had
growing
a
up?
white one.
Yeah, me too.
I had a white
Really?
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that y'all never had black Barbies, I have.
No, I had black dolls, like Cabbage Patch dolls, but I never had black.
Why not?
I asked my mama.
We need to do a deep dive.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do a deep dive.
All right.
Well, make sure you guys check out this Black Barbie documentary. It dives into the history of the Black Barbie that started in the 1980s.
Okay.
Okay, just want you guys to check that out. And that is your Yeetie. And when we come back, this is something that I didn't get a chance to talk to, but it's been on my mind. I've been wanting to report this story, but we've had so many stories going on. I want to talk about Louis Vuitton. All right. Now, Louis Vuitton is opening up a new flagship store. Luxury retail has been booming. All right. We've been seeing all in the news how the Birkins, Hermes is going crazy, Louis Vuitton. The reason why the owner, Bernard Arnault, is like the richest man is because of all these luxury brands doing so well. Tiffany's, they bought Tiffany's. And I want to talk about what is the most that you've ever spent on a luxury brand. When we come back, it's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Back and I'm back at it.
You vibing Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and this guy got money.
Money.
Okay. Don't forget the M and Mano's for money. What's up, Mano?
I didn't know. I didn't even know y'all was talking to me. Is that so?
This guy's got money.
Really?
Got money.
And Jasmine from the Jasmine Brand is here. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to talk about these stories that we did not have a chance to get to for the past few days. But Louis Vuitton is opening up a new flagship. And that's going to be because, I guess, luxury retail has been booming in New York City.
Okay.
All right. So they said right now it's going to be on 5th Avenue and East 57th Street. They also talked about Tiffany's and how they did a makeover of the Tiffany store. And, Louis Vuitton, they own Tiffany's also.
Right.
All right, and so the CEO of Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, Bernard Arnault, got lost inside the Tiffany's flagship store and then ended up doing a renovation there that was supposed to cost up to $500 million. But then during the pandemic, he managed to get that price lowered.
Sheesh.
To get that renovation done. But I wanted to ask you guys this because I don't spend any money anymore. I can't.
Okay, this is
can't
new, but
it.
go ahead.
It's definitely new, but I want to ask you guys, what's the most you ever spent on a luxury item?
On one luxury item?
On one luxury item.
And when you're talking about luxury, we talking about
designer?
Yeah, like
clothes,
something that costs a lot of money that
cars,
you go in the store, maybe you got to wait online outside or security has to let you in.
I don't know, sweaters.
A watch, maybe. Mano, we'll start with you. Watches are expensive. That's why I have yet to buy one.
Super expensive. I want to say about 60,000.
60?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a lot. You beat me.
Yeah.
Well, y'all for sure beat me. I think the most I've ever spent on something I bought myself was probably like a Chanel bag.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
5,000.
How much is?
Yeah, like no more than 6.
And Chanel bags have
so
gone
expensive.
up so much in price. The price has gone up like 30%.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a good investment.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, if you take good care of them.
Yeah.
I have a few. I actually have, but remember that Chanel bag that lights up? It has like the LED lights on it and it like says Chanel and then it like...
Mm-hmm. How much is that?
Young Thug actually wore it at a concert.
I don't know that one.
Oh.
How much? You got that?
But you know what? See, you can't compare it because things were cheaper back then. I think I spent at that time, and that was a lot for me. It was the most I ever spent. It was like $7,500.
What's the most to date you think you spent on a luxury item?
So not 60,000.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be on a bag, and because the cost of bags have gone up so much.
Yeah.
You know what? I will tell you this. I did get that Chanel bag that's heart-shaped.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah, and they're hard to get. They never hit the floor at the stores. I just happened to be in the store, and I was like, hey, are you guys going to get the heart-shaped Chanel bag? And I had to reserve it. And it wasn't that it was expensive, but the resale value of it is crazy.
How much was it? Yeah,
It was $5,500.
Tell me about this Louis Vuitton case.
Oh, I purchased a Louis Vuitton case for my phone one time. I will never do that again. Because the iPhone is always changing.
Right.
And so when you get a case for the iPhone, it only lasts for a little while. So now I just get like a cheap, $30 case on my phone. I might get one at the mall from one of the little things, the stands at the mall.
Right.
But I went in the store. I thought it was cute. I was like, it can't be that much. And I said I wanted it. And then I think it might have been like $1,800.
Oh, gosh,
and I
for a
didn't
case.
know until I went to the register and I already had a whole conversation.
Yeah,
never
nothing
asked
you
the
could
price.
do. Yeah. It's nothing you can do.
Because people know y'all, I feel like y'all can't ask the price. I will definitely ask. Well, how much is this?
I just should have asked earlier.
No, I asked the price soon. But I asked it with an attitude. What y'all selling this for? What? $2,300. Stop bugging. Nobody even seen this before.
So was your ego too fragile for you to be like, okay, I don't want to get this now?
Yeah. I should have asked earlier. And I think, there's a lot that goes into that. I'm going to tell you what we do, too. If you don't want to act like you want to act like money ain't a thing, you'd be like, I'll be right back. I'm going to go look around some more. We just walked in here.
Yeah.
So while I think about it. And then you just don't come back.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you just say, hey, can I do you need help? No, I don't need help.
Right.
But here's the thing. I do say I'm going to come back, but that's because I really need to think, like, do I want to spend that? That's why I'm leaving it.
Anytime I say I'll be right back, I'm not coming back.
That's a good technique.
Good to know, ladies.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's not. See,
what's the most you spent on a bag for a young lady?
That was very terrible. I bought a Chanel.
Okay. All right.
He's a good man.
That's a good man, Savannah.
He's a good man.
That's a good man, Savannah.
Yeah, okay.
All
right. Well, I thank you for that, Mano. So Mano is the winner here. $60,000.
60.
Yeah, 60.
60,000. Money Mano.
Vibe with him.
Really?
Yes.
Money Mano, Mano
Pressure.
Numeno.
Vibe with him, ladies.
Hey, listen, I got a lot of names up here.
You do.
All right. Well, when we come back, we have Latham Thomas joining us, and she is a doula. She's put together this Doula Expo. This is her 3rd year doing it. It's grown every year. I remember when she started it was in Bushwick, then it moved to Williamsburg, and now she has it in Hudson Yards in New York. But doulas are extremely important. I feel like we don't highlight that enough.
Right.
It's something that people are talking about more. Erykah Badu is a doula.
Yes.
If you see her Instagram page, or Twitter, I think she calls herself like Erykah Badula.
Yeah. She also delivers babies,
Yeah, she helps
too.
deliver babies and all of
Do
that.
you know how to do it?
Do I know how to deliver a child or be a doula? No, I do not.
But you can learn, and
Yeah.
she also does classes for doulas.
Angela should be a doula.
To be certified. She actually tried to get me to be a doula.
You
All right,
give me
but
doula vibes.
I give doula vibes. Is that why you did your hands like
Yeah,
you
you
were
give
holding a
like-
baby?
Small
Give a
baby.
doula vibe. Catch this baby. All right. Well, when we come back, Latham Thomas is joining us. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yeah, she back at it. Bring it in the back. Way Up with Angela Yee is on.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Mano is here.
I'm Mano.
Yes, Jasmine from the Jasmine Brand is here.
I'm here.
And Latham Thomas is about to join us. She's a doula. She has a Doula Expo that's happening on May 20th.
Okay.
And you guys both have children.
We do have children.
Maynard,
yeah.
were you there for the birth of your children?
Unfortunately, I wasn't.
Okay.
Neither one of them?
Neither one of them.
Okay.
And do you remember what it was like being a dad in the beginning? Like your first...
I'm still a dad.
Your son? No, I mean in the beginning.
The beginning days.
Yeah, of course. See, when my son was born, I was incarcerated.
Okay.
So I didn't get a chance to see him till he was 3 months old.
All right. And how was that first feeling when he was 3 months old? You saw him for the first time as a brand new dad.
Right. So being a brand new dad is just like a big experience for me because I was just getting out of prison.
Okay.
And the same day I got out is the same day I met my son.
Wow.
So that was like...
That's magical.
Did you cry?
I think I did.
So
No,
silly.
definitely. I was emotional because
Yeah.
it was a big thing for me. I was getting my freedom back. I was meeting my 3-month-old son.
Yeah.
And I had hopes and dreams, and I had a lot of things in front of me, and I was just like, man, I got to do this. I'm trying to get in the game.
Right.
You know?
And now your son be calling you like, yo, dad, you at work?
Nah, he don't like. I gotta call him.
You got to keep
It's
up.
like, yo, what's up? Yo, I'm over here, dad. Yeah, what?
Busy.
He too
Yeah,
cool.
like he too cool for me.
He
man.
chill, too.
You know what I do when I send him pictures of me and him when he was little,
Oh, that's
and,
sweet.
and be like, yeah, remember when you had time for me?
Oh,
You guilting him.
Remember
You are
remember had
guilting
time?
your son.
So
You
he
probably never invited him to Chelsea House either.
he pull up at Chelsea House when he wants to.
Okay.
I watched him pull up with Chelsea House one day. He had about 3-4 girls with him. Like,
Don't blow him up.
Nah, I'm not gonna blow him up, but he was, he's outside.
It's
a
in the
little bit,
genetics.
right? It's in his genetics. So
Yeah.
That's my boy.
I told him the other day. I said, he said, yo, Dad, I'm with my friends. We're on a party bus and we chilling and we shooting some footage and stuff like that. And I said, I'm pulling up to come get my cameo.
That's what you said?
He said, nah, chill.
Y'all
Y'all don't want me.
No.
And
I'm like, I don't understand. I'm a cool pops. Like, I
Nuh-uh.
don't get it.
And Jasmine, you actually met Latham
I did.
previously while you were pregnant, super
yeah.
early on, and you didn't know that much about doulas, but you're like, you wish you would have had one.
I wish I would have had one. I think, Angela, you're the one that kind of introduced me to doulas. I wasn't really clear on what they were, and then you introduced me to her, and you kind of told me what she did and what, so it was interesting. I wish I had paid more attention because I 100% would have had a doula for my pregnancy
All
and
right.
labor and all that kind of stuff. So.
Well, Latham Thomas is going to be joining us now. So if anybody out there is thinking about having a kid, is expecting, or maybe you're dealing with postpartum or you're not even sure, she is an amazing resource for all of those conversations. So we're going to get into it now. Latham Thomas, when we come back, is Way Up with Angela Yee.
Wealth, dog.
Getting you straight financially, mentally, and physically. This is Wealth Wednesday on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. Jasmine from the Jasmine Brand is here.
Yes.
And a good friend of mine is in the building too, Latham Thomas.
Hey.
Now, Latham, we all know your work as Glow Maven, and you are the person that I feel, one of the people who has really been spreading the word, knowledge about doulas and what doulas do,
Yep.
and also about Black maternal health care.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
And so this all is culminating every year with the Doula Expo. So can you talk about that?
Thank you so much for having me up here, and so happy to see y'all. So the Doula Expo by Mama Glow is essentially a festival that really uplifts birth work and caregiving and families, and there's all the brands who really have wraparound services and offerings to support folks. And so we have like CVS Health and Bobby and LV and all these companies that like really mean something to you if you have a baby, right? Mm-hmm. We have a childcare company called Vivi. There's Carol's Daughter, who we have a partnership with through Love Delivered, and just an amazing group of organizations that come together and we create this amazing interactive experience for a weekend. It's a 2-day festival. It's at Hudson Yards this year, and it's going to be amazing because there's content, there's information, there's entertainment. So it's really going to be uplifting, but the theme is birth to the future. So it's about thinking about a vision and future for better birth outcomes, safety and dignity in this process, but also like what do we want to design, right? Like how do we think about like a design for the future that really centers our needs and empowers us. So it's really just like a celebration.
Last time you saw Jasmine, she was pregnant. That was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And she has since had the baby. Jasmine, talk about your experience a little, because you did go through a lot of things.
Yeah, so I was fine for a while, and then towards the end of my pregnancy, I just didn't feel good. I had shortness of breath. I just would wake up and I just couldn't get it together. I couldn't breathe, and my chest was tight, and my feet had really blew up. I was here, and I was showing Angela my feet.
They were swollen.
They were swollen.
But had anybody said anything to you, or were you able to talk to your practitioners about it?
So I emailed my OBGYN and I said, hey, my feet are swelling up. And she said, only be concerned if it's just 1 foot. So I was like, okay. And my mom kept saying, I don't know, Jazz.
Yeah, that's interesting. Only if 1 foot swells up.
I guess I don't know. So anyway, we go to an appointment, and they check my blood pressure, and they're like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I had preeclampsia, so I had to stay in the hospital. They were trying to make me wait an additional week so her lungs would develop,
right?
But wasn't able to do that. So I was induced. I tried to have a natural childbirth, but every time I had a contraction, her heart would drop,
decelerate.
So I ended up having an emergency C-section. So anyway, I had preeclampsia, and apparently this is really common, especially with Black women. If you're really young or if you're over 35, apparently, and Black women. Are doulas equipped to help in situations like that? Because my partner and I were kind of lost with what to do.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for education, right? Because what a doula could do in this setting would be to interact with you more frequently. So even between appointments where you're not seeing your provider, I might see you, or whoever is looking at you, and say, oh, I'm noticing some swelling, because we might in an appointment, I might like rub your legs and feet while we're talking. So I would notice like you're getting a little bit of swelling. Is that new for you? Is that something that just, was an onset? I empower people to also take their own urine strips. So you can go on Amazon and you can get these protein strips. And so if protein is present in the urine, that's also a sign of preeclampsia.
Okay.
And you can alert your doctor. The swelling in the feet is really a big sign. Foggy thinking, like feeling, you said I couldn't feel like I was getting it together.
Yeah, I couldn't especially in the middle of the night, I just would be
And people might think that's just because I'm pregnant.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's part of it.
And I heard towards the end, it gets rough. So I'm thinking like, oh, it's just rough. And I remember showing Angela like, yo, my feet are so big. Like, this is so weird.
This is definitely a thing where you would have someone who could be seeing some changes and then say, okay, here's what I would like you to do.
Right.
Have your doctor check, in these ways, and then have that diagnostic information, because as soon as they put a blood pressure cuff on, they would know, right?
Well, that's not the first thing that they did. I was just coming for a regular checkup.
Right.
And so my partner was like, she's not feeling good. Like, can you check her blood pressure? And that's why.
So they waited until you said, this is what I'm feeling.
Yeah. When I was down for Angela Yee Day, he was saying, why don't you go get something to check your blood pressure?
Right.
And because I emailed the doctor and she said, I think it's okay, I never did it.
Right. That's not the time to not be sure, right?
Right.
For a doctor.
Yeah. So.
And also not seeing you. Like, she needs to see you and say, hey, let me actually see, because even if she's thinking like, well, this is what I usually see, maybe like 1 foot is less swollen than the other. But no, like every individual is different. And so for you, like if you normally don't get swelling and now you have a lot
I never
of
had
it,
swelling,
then it's like that's a sign. And so these are kinds of things that I'm glad that you did not ignore it and that you brought it to their attention. But the other thing is, as soon as you got into that appointment, they should have had your feet out and been looking at your whole body, right, to observe. And I think that there's so many misses, right? So many people don't have the opportunity where someone actually catches it.
Yeah.
And so you get underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed.
And you can die.
And undertreated.
You can die. Like, I know a woman that has died from.
It's lethal.
All right. We are talking to Latham Thomas about her Doula Expo, amongst other things.
do doulas help post? Because I had a baby in NICU for a month afterwards.
Yes.
I had to try to figure out how to still pump, and then I experienced like postpartum. I was calling Angela, trying to talk to her like about what I'm feeling and stuff like that.
Latham wants me to be a doula so bad.
I know.
too.
She's
I gotta
going to
take
come
these
take a
classes.
class.
Good.
She's
Angela would
taking
be
a class.
so good.
Yes. No, because
Angela told me
they have
like
online courses to be able to do that.
And she
that
loves the online course.
I have to complete that, but that's one of the things that Latham we've talked about too is the support after giving birth.
Postpartum, absolutely. Postpartum support is so critically important, and I would argue that even though a lot of people like really focus on birth doula support, there's so much that happens in the postpartum period because you don't go see your doctor again for like 6 weeks after birth. A lot happens in 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And so having that person who could come and take care of you, who's there to help you through recovery, through navigating what to eat, how to take care of yourself and the baby, and then just like also monitoring how you're adjusting to new parenthood because it can be very isolating.
Yeah.
It can be depressing.
Yeah, especially if you're by yourself.
If you're by yourself and if you're navigating the NICU, right? You need somebody to help you figure out, okay, how do I get get my milk there? How do I make sure to like, am I holding my baby? Like what?
Or just I'm leaving my baby.
I'm leaving my baby someplace.
I left her she was there for a month without me.
And you had to be in
hospital.
and out.
Yeah, I was devastated, and then you can't even. I had to change her diaper from inside. It was just
so hard.
It's hard to, I think, navigate post.
And then you're probably looking like hoping the baby's not feeling
by herself.
Babies are feeling
because they gave her a little blanket like to hold on to like a fake like little bear, and I was like, I'm leaving her like she's by herself, and they will put like a little blanket. It's like she's fine. I'm like, no,
of course.
But I feel like support afterwards, especially
so critical.
when you have to leave your baby is
yes, because that person can like help you also navigate the difficulty and more in the loss of like what you wanted to experience, but then also be in a place with you around, okay, how do we make sure that we shore up the support you need to make it through these next 6 weeks with the NICU, right? And there's so many things to navigate, right? And then also, how am I setting up the home for you? How do we make sure that like we figure out how to like get things ready so that when you have to head there, what's it going to look like you doing your work and then holding down the fort, and then how many hours can you spend, and can we rotate with your partner, and what will that look like, right? So even helping you develop systems around how you navigate the care postpartum is really like the role too, right? And people don't think about like the mothering, the process once you have a baby. You are so vulnerable, and so we think about like holding a baby and swaddling them and not leaving them alone and taking care of them. We never think we should never leave new mothers alone. We should never leave them unattended. They should always have support. There should always be somebody there, right? But we're not thinking this way because in this country, 1 in 4 women are going back to work 10 days after having a baby.
That's a fact. Or they feel like I have to.
I don't have a choice. I need to work.
You can work from
we don't
home
have paid
too.
leave, right?
In addition to that, but imagine, 10 days later having to go to work.
Going someplace is horrible.
It's awful,
or even having a partner who has to go back to work, and now you
you're
have
by
to
yourself.
be home alone. Latham Thomas is here with us. Make sure you guys follow her at Glow Maven. We'll have more with her when we come back. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
You straight financially, mentally, and physically. This is Wealth Wednesday on Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine Brand is here. We are talking to Latham Thomas. Let's talk about this because you and I had a conversation during the pandemic about this geriatric pregnancy.
Oh Lord,
that was me.
And that term.
That's over 35.
We're not doing that term though. We have to.
So what is a geriatric pregnancy?
I saw that word on my paper. I was like, oh my God.
Which is horrifying, right? How did that make you feel?
Old.
We have like really horrifying terminology that's used in medical spaces, always levied against women. So geriatric pregnancy is determined when someone is over 35 years old. You have people going into this process thinking something's wrong with them. They're also inherently categorized as high risk.
Right.
As a result too. So that impacts the kind of care you receive also.
And people rush to get pregnant too before 35 because they're like, it's going to be too hard after that. And I don't want a geriatric pregnancy.
Right. But think about this. Think about how would it be possible that every single person, regardless of their lifestyle, what they eat, where they live, how they work, the type of stress they have, how they metabolize that stress, where they live in the world, all of those are factors that impact on fertility factor, right? So why would 35, why would the age be the only piece, right? And how is it that no matter what's going on in each of our lives, like somebody who's living in Japan and living next to the water and eating fish and has a stress-free life, at 35 and a person who's like, you know, in New York City, you know, high powered jobs, right? Like that person is not, those people at 35 years old have different biological profiles. So you can't say that, okay, like this person's fertile and this person's not. There are people who in their 20s that like can't have a baby because of like lifestyle factors. And there are people who are well into their 40s getting pregnant by accident, right? So I think it's really important to like bust through these myths around biological age and chronological age because they do not run concurrently.
All right, we are talking to Latham Thomas about her Doula Expo, amongst other things. The last thing I want to talk about is Black Maternal Health Caucus.
Yes.
Right, do you feel like, because I've seen that now, that was formed, I just want to ask you, do you think that there's a lot more that's being done now? Because we've seen Kamala Harris with her initiatives. We've seen things happening here in New York. You know, as you, somebody in this space, do you feel like we're moving forward at the rate that you would like to see?
The rate could be faster, right? If policy could catch up, I think that would be great. I do think we need to deploy more resources, financial resources into communities that are doing this work, into organizations like ours, Mama Glow, would be amazing. But I think that from the legislative level, and then when we look at the fact that the federal government does have doulas on the agenda, that's huge, right? They did have a maternal health blueprint that they released last year. And I think that was a huge step in really telling the story about where their policies are and where they want to put their resources. And we still need to get the Black Maternal Health Omnibus completely passed, right? And so I love that you brought up the Black Maternal Health Caucus because this has been a group of people who have worked tirelessly to compose these bills. This is the most comprehensive piece of legislation that addresses maternal health that we've ever seen, and still we can only get pieces of it passed. And so I think that the work of Senator Cory Booker and Representative Underwood and others who really been championing this work has been tremendous. But we have so much work to do because we have to convince people on the floor to vote for it. So this needs to continue to trickle up, I think, but I would like to see it moving faster.
And just for some numbers here, according to the CDC, Black women die at 3 times the rate of white women when it comes to pregnancy related deaths.
Yes.
And so it is a crisis that's happening. These numbers aren't lying about the disparities and birthing while Black. You know, that's the whole, you should read Birthing While Black, but it's a national crisis.
It is.
And that's why legislation does need to be passed.
And it needs to be passed quickly.
And let's talk about the Doula Expo. Where can people get tickets?
Yes.
It's at Hudson Yards this year.
Yes.
Every single year, growing.
As
far as the space, the numbers, the sponsors. So tell people the information so they can make it through.
Awesome. So doulaexpo.com. It's DOULAEXPO.com. And there's tickets there. And you can come, and it's affordable, and you can spend the weekend. Again, you can bring your children if you have little ones. We have a play space, an area for them. If you're not pregnant yet, still come. If you've got older children, still come. We have food. We have entertainment. It's a family affair, so don't miss it. We can't wait to see you.
All right. Well, thank you, Latham. Always a pleasure to have you on. I know we're going to see you again.
Oh, absolutely. Cannot wait for that.
All right. It's Way Up with Angela Yee. When we come back, we got Ask Yee, 800-292-5150. We also have the award-winning advice giver here with us. Mano is in the building.
That's right.
And Jasmine is here for any advice that you might need. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Here I go.
Hey, everybody, exit.
Whether it's relationship or career advice, Angela's dropping facts.
So you should know.
This is Ask Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it is time for Ask Yee. We do have our expert advice giver, award-winning Mano.
New Mano.
And Jasmine from the Jasmine Brand is here.
Yes.
And we do take questions from the voicemail also. We always tell you 800-292-5150 is the number. If you can't get through, you can always leave a voicemail and we'll still respond. Well, here's one of those questions.
Hi, Angela. Good afternoon. I listen to your show every day, you and Jazz. And I just have a question. What advice would you give for a first-time home buyer? A couple that's married, buying a house for the first time. Should they go into a two-family to get the income, or do a single family that they can afford? They can sell it, then buy a two-family. Just want to advise us to say to someone who's a couple buying a house for the first time. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. You know, I love this question.
Yeah, this is right up your alley.
It is a Wealth Wednesday. So I always am going to feel like buying a 2-family house is a great investment.
Okay.
That's because the income that you have coming in pays for a part of your mortgage. And a lot of times, the first house I bought was a 2-family house. And so that really helped me a lot because what I was paying as far as my part of the mortgage is less than what I would have been paying for rent somewhere else. So if you can get the money up front to put down on a house, then yes. And I do want to say right now, I know the real estate market is all over the place.
Right.
And interest rates can be really high. So make sure you lock in a good interest rate, as good as possible. Also, make sure you know about mortgage insurance. PMI is what they call it. So sometimes people will tell you don't have to put a lot of money down on a house, but that means that you will have mortgage insurance. So just make sure you check into those things. That's a lot of unnecessary money. I found that out when I was buying my first house, that you'll be paying that's just going to insure the loan that does not go toward anything else. That will eventually drop off, but these are things to keep in mind. I did not want to have to pay mortgage insurance, so I made sure that I put down 25% so that I wouldn't have to. So it's all of those things.
Does someone need a property manager for this type of unit?
Not a 2-family. I mean, they're right downstairs. So
Okay.
And I think it's also important to think about who you rent to because, trust me, renting to somebody that you know can sometimes be a nightmare if that person isn't paying on time or if you can't get them to move out.
Right.
You know, I really do like to make sure that I did have a moving forward, because I've had some nightmare situations. I have a real estate agent actually vet the person. And I would recommend not necessarily renting to someone you know.
Okay.
You know,
That's
at first I
interesting,
thought it was a good idea because you want somebody that you personally are cool with living downstairs from you because you're in the same house, but it can make it difficult when it comes to other things like, you know, the rent. Is it market value? Is it what is comparable to other things, or do they expect to get a break from you?
Right.
And if something goes wrong, you know, are they going to fix it? If you need them to move out at some point, are they going to leave? It's a lot of things that you have to think about when it's somebody who you know. So just be careful with that, who you rent out to. Make sure they have good credit. Make sure you go through the proper channels of knowing who that person is, because it's still inside your house, even though it's a separate unit.
Right.
You want to make sure that somebody that's there is somebody who's trustworthy, okay? But yes, I'm going to always say, if you could get a 2 or 3 family house, something that also gives you income just in case there's an emergency, at least you have that. And lastly, I would say this advice that I always say that my realtor gave me: this is not your dream and only home. This is your first home, which is a great investment. And that's what you want, a great investment. Okay? That's my advice. It's Way Up with Angela Yee. That's Ask Yee. 800-292-5150 is the number. And when we come back, in case you couldn't get through, we have your last word.
Pick up the phone.
Tap in. Tap in and get your voice heard.
What the word is.
Here's the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. What a great day. Jasmine and I are in Orlando, but we're heading back now.
Yes.
Again, we were out here for TD Jakes for his Good Soil Conference.
Hallelujah.
Stop doing that. It's not church.
Okay, sorry.
It's
Praise
conference. It's about entrepreneurship.
Yeah. But God is involved. So
Yeah, you have to.
Well,
Like, anytime I see TD Jakes or hear his names, I just want to say, Lord have mercy.
That is a Caribbean thing.
Lord have mercy.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, praise the Lord. Won't he do it?
You know, what's crazy? Bishop TD Jakes and I both did CBS Mornings on the same day. So I ran into him when I was there. But shout out to Lincoln and to everybody that is doing this whole Good Soil Conference. I actually am amazed and blown away by being able to be a part of things like this, just because as an entrepreneur myself, I'm always trying to find ways to connect with other people who are like-minded. And get advice and get coaching. All those things are really important. And then Tell Us a Secret was today. And we know that is Mano's absolute favorite thing.
That's his jam. He
You know
loves
what it is. I love when they call in. Please, call in now. I'm going to get my number away.
Okay.
Yeah, this
All
is
right.
when we call him yet another nickname, Mano Sucio. During Tell Us a Secret, he is Mano Sucio, because the dirtier the better.
Yes, he loves it.
He wants it filthy. He wants you guys to call in and be legendary.
Yeah.
All right, so 800-292-5150 is the number in case you couldn't get through earlier. We still want to hear from you. Mano is still sitting here listening and going through all of these voice messages.
I'm here.
And entertaining himself and passing judgment, even though Jasmine and I are saying, do you? Okay?
Yeah.
Do you? 800-292-5150. Last word, it's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yeah, this is Tron from Chicago. And I called in because I heard Mano say you don't never hit your man's girl. I support him on that. And that's the rules. You don't break them codes. Whether you're good friends, past friends, old friends, or used to be friends. You don't go behind your guy's back. It's just It's a code. And I'm keeping it 100. I've been in Chicago 50 years, and everybody know my name. I'm Tron from Chicago, and they know I don't break no codes. I salute you, man. Love, boy.
Dude that just explained about him with his homegirl when he went to jail is a real tender. I agree with Mano. Even if they are no longer friends, that nigga passed a dress code, not a dress code, a loyalty. It's principalities to certain things and morals to certain things. Regardless if they not friends no more, he was real tender to go behind his homeboy back. Period.
Well, burning secret is one of my friends called it a gun charge, and so his bail was $5,000. So of course I'm coming from court while like his sister on the way to like pay his bail, she done lost the $5,000 in the parking ramp. I just so happened to find the $5,000, but the loophole is fool locked up for a stolen firearm that's actually registered in my name. So I actually go look around in my home, you know, my gun gone, police got it. They called me, tell me to come get it. Now, it's not like they didn't give me no option to press no charges, which I wouldn't do it, nothing like that anyway. I'm just, you know, I'm glad I got the banger back anyway. But long story short, I wanted to tell him, you know, and get that bread so he can get out here. But, like, you need to learn a lesson. You can't be stealing from your homies anyway.
Whoa! Yeah. I'm going all the way up. Hey. Going way up with Angela Yee.